All right, welcome back to Bar House Crew Special Edition. I'm here, your man, Geek, along with Smoking Cigar. Two special guests today, Che Midwest. We're going to talk about something that's been kind of a hot topic. I'm not sure if his opinion's going to differ this time around, but what the heck, we'll give it a go. 96 Bulls versus the current Warriors. It would have been better had the winning streak still been going, but I'm sure for this conversation it's not going to make much of a difference. So let me just start off by asking, since I believe everyone probably has the same answer, it's not if the Warriors would win. I don't think anybody at this table of four thinks the Warriors would win, but how many games would it take the Bulls to beat them? Or if I'm wrong, let me know.
So you're saying?
But I think I can speak for everybody here and say it's not the Warriors winning. They're not winning, but it's how many games the Bulls would beat them in.
So you're saying Warriors and the Bulls in a 7-game series?
In a 7-game series.
Bulls in 5, no more. Just because, basically, at the end of the day, the Warriors are a glorified jump shooting team. They're a great team. They're the best team in history of probably living by the jump shot. They don't die by the jump shot that often, but at the same time, if you have Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, Ron Harper, and Dennis Rodman, that defensively is just going to be a nightmare. You're going to put Michael Jordan on Klay Thompson. You're going to put Scottie Pippen on Curry. Great offense, always beats great defense. But Scottie Pippen's type of defense with his length, his quickness, is definitely going to slow Curry down. It's definitely going to make him more inefficient, which at the end of the day, is not going to equal, them winning in a series against the Bulls.
But are these five close games or are these routes for the most part?
No, I don't. Well, I think at some point they're going to be routes because the Bulls were one of the best defensive teams in history. They're one of the highest IQ teams in history, and they're not going to lose, over and over to a jump shooting team because that's basically what they are. And let's not forget that Bulls had great jump shooters on their team as well.
They did.
But they didn't have the type of jump shooters that the Warriors had. But they had great jump shooters, and they're just a better overall team defensively. The Warriors are definitely a more explosive team.
It's funny,
but
their coach, Steve Kerr, greatest percentage shooter in the history of the game. Tony Kukoc is probably the most underrated and possibly European player the game has ever seen. And that's coming off the bench. So that's not even talking about their starting five. You could plug in Luke Longley, Bill Wennington, but I think they'd smoke them. I think it would be over in 4 games.
Jackson.
And they had Phil Jackson.
I don't know. I don't think it would be a clean sweep. I don't know if it would be 5 games easily for the Bulls. I think it would be definitely a tough matchup. I don't think the Bulls never seen a team like this before. I mean, every team they went up against was slow. I mean, they were aggressive, but everybody was slow paced at the time. Warriors, more up-tempo. Everybody on the floor can shoot damn near. The center probably can shoot, but they got like 4 good guys out there that can fill it up at any moment. So, I don't know. I'll give the Bulls the edge, but it'd be a tough-ass matchup, though.
I give you that, but I'll tell you this. The one way to control the game and the pace of the game, first of all, in playoffs, the game slows down.
Playoffs?
Yeah, the playoffs. In the NBA playoffs, the game slows down. So all that 115 points a game, especially in the finals, it's not happening. You saw the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron and some other losers slow the Warriors down for 3 games.
As good as they are at home, would it matter if Golden State got the home court advantage? Would that length in anybody's mind? Would that expand the series?
It could expand
as a game or two.
It could expand it to 6 games, but I think there's no question that Chicago wins. I just think that I do think the Warriors are underrated defensively. I think the Warriors are better defensively than people give them credit for.
There's nobody guarding Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's gonna get 40 a night. Period. On Klay Thompson, on Ezeli. I don't care who they throw on him.
Iguodala,
he's getting 40 a night.
Iguodala, their best defender.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think the 2 things is, number one, which rules are you playing by? You playing by the 90s rules?
Oh, if it's playing by the 90s rules, that's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? If you playing by the rules, I say if you playing by today's rules and Golden State got home court, they'll get 6.
Yeah,
they'll get 2.
Yeah,
that's the only way they're gonna get 2 is if they playing by today's rules and they got
no
home
hand
court.
checking.
Because they are faster. They are faster than Chicago.
If you play by the 90s, it's not even a conversation.
Nah, bro.
Hand checking. This is over
So-
4.
They are faster than Chicago, but the thing is, and nobody will readily really admit this, but Matthew Dellavedova did give Steph Curry problems. Period. Either way you want to look at it. Why did he give him problems? Because he was able to glue to him, and Scottie Pippen was the best ever at being able. And all anybody has to do is watch when he guarded Magic Johnson full court, and you'll see how much of a nightmare he can make things with his length. And you can't tell me as fast as Steph Curry shoots, if he has to think about, oh man, Scottie Pippen's gonna be right here, he's gonna be jumping at my shot. It's gonna affect his ability to be accurate.
Well,
You
if
know?
Dellavedova
I'm glad.
can affect you that way, then we know
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen could. I mean, he may
I'm
drop.
glad Golden State won that series because they was ready to crown that boy, that Dellavedova after that
Yeah.
game 3.
Delly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He,
That was,
yeah.
that was ready to crown.
That
him,
just
but-
goes to show you, though, how great LeBron is, and how he could take just your below-average player and kind of even for a brief moment make him to a star, which is another thing that we talked on. Speaking of Golden State and LeBron, question here is who's the best player in the NBA? Has Steph Curry, with the way the Golden State been rolling, has he taken that mantle? Is it still LeBron's? LeBron's 1 year older, 31. Some people believe he lost some athleticism. Is he still the premier player of the game? Me personally thinks maybe next in line might be Anthony Davis over Steph Curry, but that's just me personally. There's one here who definitely believes it's LeBron.
Mhm.
I know there's
it's
some
LeBron.
Is it LeBron?
It's
Definitely.
LeBron, and I definitely, I say Anthony Davis is next up. He might have to go to a different team though, but he's definitely next up.
It's hilarious how everybody just skips over Durant now. Durant had his shot, but now it's over. It's either going
Well,
to
I think it
hurt
Davis.
too much now.
And the
Yeah.
thing is, I don't think it matters because some people feel that Durant's not the best player on his team anymore.
Well,
so,
he's not. He's
You know, I mean,
it's Westbrook.
so I mean, it's kind of like, yeah. You,
I don't know why I said that, like,
um,
That needed to even be said. Like,
well,
anybody
we're
was gonna
now
be thinking I was gonna say
it's like
Bobby.
Shaq used to say: are we defining the best player by who makes everybody else around them, or just the impact that they have on the team, on the league, on the game in total?
Well, that's
'Cause
both
if we're saying the best player is still LeBron, but if we're talking about impact, I don't know.
It's still LeBron.
Well, if it's LeBron,
LeBron.
Curry's kind. I think Curry's probably
No, he's
closing
not.
that
Yeah,
gap.
Curry.
I'm not talking about the total team aspect because Steph Curry is the best player on a really good team. LeBron is the league's best player, and a lot of times can take a below average team and making them into pretty much an elite contender.
I don't even think it's
So I don't
close.
think that. So I don't think that part of it, team aspect, LeBron is still head and shoulders above. What I'm saying is, I think from the individual standpoint, Steph Curry is definitely closing the gap. We have never seen anybody like this be this efficient, this lethal from that type of range. This isn't a once in a generation player. This is the first that we've ever seen, and that can't be taken lightly.
Hey,
Do I think he's better than LeBron overall? No,
Well,
absolutely not.
I mean, but let's be realistic because nobody's ever.
Well, that we've ever seen.
No, but I
So
know,
we're
but-
all in our
but even
30s and stuff. So
I know, but that-
maybe
even-
Bob Cousy or Pistol Pete, but
yeah, but even that gets old though because everybody's been saying since we were little kids, oh man, we never seen anything like this. Well, guess what? You see something better 5 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we'll never see a Jordan. Then Kobe.
That's true.
Oh man, we'll never see a Kobe. And then LeBron comes along. We've never seen anything like LeBron. Oh, now Steph Curry. So it's always going to be. If you look at the trend. There will be somebody better than Jordan. There will be somebody better than LeBron.
Well, do you think-
there will be a better shooter than Steph Curry?
Well, there
Period.
might not.
Yeah, of course there will be. Of course there will be.
I mean, with them being so small,
can
like
we
6'1", 6'2".
Can
Well, and I
we honestly,
think
can we
that's the
honestly
thing.
say if Shaq wasn't in Wilt Chamberlain's age, how many points would Shaq average?
well, Shaq was a better. Well, both of them actually weren't great free throw shooters.
Well, no. It doesn't matter what the free throw. If Shaq was playing in Wilt Chamberlain's time, he would average 50 a game, just like Wilt.
We'll see, but I don't know. I'm not old enough to even know what impact he
Wilt
would
Chamberlain
have.
was how tall? Does anybody know? I think Wilt Chamberlain was like.
7'1",
I think he was a 7-footer.
I don't even know if he was that tall.
Yeah, he was. He was same size as Shaq.
No,
Shaq's 7'1", isn't he?
Yeah, Shaq's
Wilt
7'1",
too.
but Shaq is way bigger than Wilt Chamberlain. If you put Shaq in that time, then
But it is
So-
kind of
so-
funny
so-
how these things work because when you think about it, Shaq's the most dominant player in our era, but he wasn't the best center. In my opinion, the best center had to be Olajuwon of our era.
Yeah.
I can't speak to the eras before and after, but it's funny.
Right, we throw
He
this-
is the most dominant, but he
Yeah.
was not a better player than the King.
well, I don't know.
Which is kind of weird.
Let me throw this out there. Let me throw
I
this question
agree.
out there. Who's the greatest player of all time?
Well, thank you, Captain Obvious.
Well,
Probably
well,
No,
it can be
no.
obvious because some people do
No,
think
no,
if
no.
you're further, Bill Russell's the greatest champion of all time. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is leading scores best.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
my
that
pick.
I've ever
I
seen.
gotta
It's
go
got to
with
be
Kareem.
MJ.
It's MJ.
He got the see people overlook Kareem. Kareem's got 6, just like MJ's got 6.
Yeah,
But Kareem's got the scoring record though that nobody can get.
There were
People overlook that.
periods of time where Kareem wasn't even the best on his own team. Jordan never had that.
Well, but do we factor in the year, almost 2 years Jordan was playing baseball? Remember that?
And not only that,
additional pretty much 2+
But he was still
seasons.
putting in work even when he's like 45 years old though.
First of all, he wasn't 45. That's
Like,
number one.
he's-
Wearing 45.
Number two, like if you look at one of the most accomplished athletes, that's what Kareem is. Kareem is one of the most accomplished as far as achievements. He's one of the most accomplished athletes in sports history, period. Won on, I think, high school, college, and NBA level. I mean, he's great, and he's the top scorer as far as points ever. But let's be all the way 100.
But
He
he
comes
dominated.
in-
He dominated in high school, dominated college, dominated NBA. Jordan didn't really dominate in college though. Really, if you think about it, James Worthy was the guy on North
but we're
Carolina.
talking
Let's make it simple. Let's make it simple.
Yeah, we were talking
If y'all was on the court at the park, you had all these guys
Kareem.
lined up.
Nah.
Who you finna pick for your squad?
Well,
And there's money on the game, so you ain't playing.
Well, at the end of
Or even like a
but
lifeline.
Prime, I gotta go Kareem.
but at the end of the day, like if you're talking about prime, Kareem did have the most unstoppable skyhook shot. He had the most unstoppable shot in history.
Does anybody?
But let me just say, as far as Kareem, he comes in to one of the most storied. There's only two major storied franchises in NBA:
Lakers, Celtics.
Boston Celtics. So he comes into that, right? And we're talking about before Bust jacked everything up. The Lakers never always had
No,
good
the
teams.
Sun. The
So
Sun.
you talk about Michael Jordan coming into a team and making the Bulls. He made the franchise. The franchise was already made before Kareem, before Magic. They're coming
But
into
to
that.
your
then
your point,
won Milwaukee,
I would go with MJ though. Until
He's
I
the
mean,
first one you picked.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I can't. You
And
6-0 in the finals, no games going past six MVPs. I mean, you just can't. That's incredible. I mean, think of every athlete at the top of their game that you could think of has lost at the highest level in some capacity, other than MJ that I know of at least.
And
If there's somebody else, maybe I'm missing them. But how many finals did Kareem lose? I'm not sure if it was a lot, but I think it was 2 or 3.
he would have. He definitely lost some
We
finals.
know
He
Magic
lost at
lost.
least 2 to Larry Bird.
We know
Hey.
Magic lost some. We know Larry lost some.
But-
we know Isaiah lost. Like, yeah, I mean, it's
Nobody
just
beat Mike.
no.
And-
Well, let me take that back.
In,
The only
in their
one-
defense, Mike didn't have no competition in the 90s,
Well,
really.
well,
Besides
yeah.
the Knicks. I mean, besides the Knicks,
That's
who else
insane.
was challenging?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
insane.
yeah.
Who else was challenging
That
him,
is
though?
absolutely.
Well, I
There's
mean,
nobody coming up. Hey, and like you said,
is asinine.
Michael got
11.
Michael got off the hook because he didn't run into the Houston Rockets. And he mentioned that.
Well, that's
He
true.
made that
If
comment.
anyone,
It still wouldn't have mattered
If
because-
anyone, no wait,
because
no,
of that Bulls
no,
defense,
they have
even
an
by
answer
Michael
logic.
Jordan's admission, I have to agree with that. I think what he just said about the no competition is absolutely insane. But if anyone has not seen Clutch City, Houston Rockets, go see that. Really good information to where even Michael Jordan admitted to himself, to a trainer, like, it's a good thing the Rockets could not get out of the West in the 90s because we had no answer for Kareem. And Phil Jackson,
First of all, get your players right.
we had no
This
answer
guy
for
clearly doesn't
Hakeem.
know what he's talking about.
Hakeem
He got that
Olajuwon.
information from that Clutch City.
We got
Don't see
we
it.
got no answer for Hakeem Olajuwon, and Phil Jackson was too stubborn to send a double team, which just meant that you were going to leave him alone with Bill Cartwright /
Whittington.
Look,
Bill
we can,
Whittington, Luke Walton.
You knew every year that the Bulls was coming out the Eastern Conference. Who was stopping the Bulls from coming out the Eastern Conference? And when they made it to the finals, who's going to?
But I think you're not
Well,
giving
first of
enough
all-
credit
first of all-
to you're not giving enough credit to the Pacers, the Knicks, the Heat.
Yeah,
That's why.
They were
But
good
think
enough
about
to give them a challenge.
but
Nobody
why?
picked
But
us
why
to win
does
the series,
no?
though.
But think about why no one really gets on Barkley, Miller, and Ewing. You know what they say? He was in the Jordan era. That's how you know you're dominant.
And
When
these
you
was one of the
when you
50 greatest players.
yeah, and then
50
saying
greatest
this,
players.
Karl Malone, did Gary Payton? He didn't win. Wait, Gary Payton won one with the Heat, didn't he? No, that was Alonzo. Never
Yeah,
mind.
he did. He was
No,
on the
he
team.
was on that squad, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Okay,
GP was
Karl
on that
Malone.
squad.
Yeah, all these legends saying, well, I was in the Jordan era. I was in the Jordan era.
But
That's
in
how
the
you
Jordan
know.
era, they didn't win.
In the Jordan, but some people kind of let that pass. They were like, okay, it was Michael Jordan era. So, but yeah, those teams were very,
I'll
very,
say-
very good.
I'll
It's just
say my number one reason why Jordan's the greatest is because you look at his first year. First year he comes in, averaging 28 a game, rookie season. Very next year, injured the entire year, right? And then he comes back in 95 after he's retired, 94, I think 94, 95, and he only played 17 games. So you could eliminate those 2 seasons right there, his second season and then the 94, 95 season. So he won 6 championships in 11 seasons with the Chicago Bulls. Because his last 2 seasons were with the Wizards, which
And
were season 14
to
and
your
15.
point though, what gives
And
a little credit,
he did play his second year, and he really didn't play.
But what
94,
gives-
95.
what gives credit-
He won 6 championships in 11
what
years.
gives credit to what Cigar is saying though is that
It's nothing.
No, well, but to his point, if the Magic were an up and coming team, and it took Michael Jordan one summer to sweep them and pretty much take them out of the occasion for the rest of that 90s period, I can kind of see what you're saying, but at the same time, the Knicks were very good. Our Pacers were very good. Miami was very good. Like
And-
they
They
just
were
didn't
very
get
good,
past.
but they didn't have what it took to beat them in a 7-game
But
series.
think
though.
about who did though, because if we're gonna say that, we can say that about the Western Conference.
And let me.
I mean, look how good that Utah team was twice.
And-
But they wasn't good enough to beat the Bulls, though.
Well, who was, though?
But that's what I'm saying. Let me go back to even the Houston thing. If you're saying
that would have
first of all, the information that you got was from Clutch City. It was from a documentary on the Houston Rockets.
No, what he was referencing is one of the Bulls trainers talking to Michael Jordan after a game, and Michael Jordan saying, "I'm glad that they can't." I don't know if it was Phoenix. I can't remember who it was, but they were like they couldn't get out of the West, and it's good because we don't have an answer for Elijah.
Well, I think it
But
would depend on.
I
the
don't
team.
think a one man team was gonna
Who
beat
cares?
the Bulls, though.
Who cares if you don't have an answer for Elijah Wood? Their defense, they have. If you're looking at the later
but they
teams,
were in
you
that
have
period
Lauer.
though. But in that period, they were from 91 to 9. They were 3-7 against them and losing convincingly. That's why what gives credit to now.
If you take the 95-96 Bulls, if you take that era team, they're beating the Houston Rockets.
I don't know, man.
because defensively, they're one of the most versatile defensive teams in history because of Rodman.
But you can't,
right?
man, they
Because you have
struggled with that.
Okay, that's great, but who?
But every team, but you know
if
that
you're not double teaming Elijah Wood,
They
who
gonna
else?
put
But
They
I'm
gonna
saying,
put
look
Rodman on
at
it.
what happened. Look
Yeah.
what's just
Who else-
going on
who
with.
else is gonna
But
beat
just
you?
look
Rodman
what's
getting
just
some
going on
trouble.
with Golden State. You had called me and said, "Dang man, they struggle with Milwaukee again." Whether there's a good or bad team, there's always some team that's going to challenge you a little bit more than that. It's a team that's like, man, this is a matchup
And that team
problem.
was the New York Knicks.
No, it wasn't. They were because even they were 3-7. Because remember, Western and East only played twice a year. They were 3-7 against the Rockets in that Bulls era. Me personally, I still think Bulls would have found a way to beat them.
But
That might have been the one
well-
series that either went to 7 or where you're like, oh man.
Well, first of
Bulls
all,
dropped this one.
First of all, being 3-7 doesn't mean anything over the course of seasons. It doesn't mean anything. If you're talking about beating Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson, which Phil Jackson is the Bill Belichick.
But if Michael
of the
Jordan
NBA,
himself
in
is
7-game
giving,
series,
but if
it's
Michael
not
Jordan
happening.
himself,
He's not a cheater.
But if Michael Jordan himself, as competitive as he is giving credence to it by saying
That doesn't even sound
hey, man,
right.
I don't,
It doesn't even sound right. It sounds like something that's
But it's
for the
something I guess
documentary.
some people you got to check out because if he's saying that himself, like
Michael
it's a
Jordan
good
was
thing-
sickly competitive. I don't see him actually saying, "Oh yeah, man, I think we should have avoided." I'm glad
Houston
we
was a
avoided that."
complete team.
No,
The
I don't
last-
think he
the
said
last
he was saying it's a
complete
good thing
team-
they can't get out of the West because regardless, we would have struggled with him. He didn't say they beat us, but he had pretty much admitted, hey, well, this would have been a problem. This would have been a big problem. I
All
think
I'm
the
saying
Bulls
is-
still
all
would
I'm
beat
saying
them.
is
Okay.
the last complete team that the Bulls saw in the playoffs in the 90s was the Detroit Bad Boys. After that, I mean, nobody could stand up to them. They were just tougher than
After
everybody.
Michael
But
Jordan
you
figured out
can't.
how
But
to win,
you're not gonna
you
give
can't
Chicago
beat 'em.
credit for that.
I'm giving them credit. I'm just saying they didn't have no after they conquered the Bad Boys. That was it. Nobody else stood a chance against them.
And it was
Well,
still,
but really,
Pacers
our
gave-
Pacers should have beat them, man.
Pacers gave them
we
some
we
fits.
gave them that game 7, and I was a Bulls and Scottie Pippen, but we
Knicks, if Patrick Ewing didn't muff that layup,
I mean,
Knicks.
it
Oh no, that was on us.
that was us, yeah.
But still though,
I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
same
I'll
thing.
just let the
Like,
comment
But
go.
East was a good. That was a good conference in that era.
man, the East was tough, man. We had
But see,
Shaq,
it would be more.
Patrick.
Your
all it was
argument,
was
your
really
argument
the
would be
first round.
better if they were getting out of the East, but then getting stomped by the West. But
And
see now, since they beat everybody, it's like man, who did beat them?
technically, Shaq gave him the L too. I mean, it wasn't in the finals. Shaq and Penny gave him the L when he
Yeah.
came back for that. Like,
But you see, that was kind of a fluke. Hey,
Yeah,
Jordan was
yeah.
okay.
He came back. And swept
I'll work
them.
out this summer and I'll sweep them the next year. That's exactly what. That's a matter of fact. I think that was the last time I even heard that at 90. And that was a squad too. Penny,
Yeah, they
Nick
broke that team
Anderson,
up after that.
Dennis Scott.
That's
Was it
another thing,
Horace?
too. They
Horace
broke that team up after that series too.
What?
After they got swept by the Bulls.
I think they did. Yeah. And then, man, with
Shaq
Penny,
went to LA.
Penny with the knees, man, that team with that. Yeah. But really, after remember their starting five, man, other than Brian Shaw, they didn't really have much depth. So that was going to kill them anyway. But yeah, it's an interesting discussion,
So pretty
man.
much
that
everybody
you can-
gonna take Mike first.
Yeah, I think we. I think it's
I
been
know you
established.
was on that LeBron train for a minute, man.
I'm still.
No, as far as
Best ever. You
Oh,
was basically like,
I don't care what this guy is. Michael Jordan's better than LeBron.
No, no, okay,
I like
no,
LeBron.
No, here's the thing. I think it just depends on how you look at everything. Because I've seen Michael Jordan, I've seen Kobe, I've seen LeBron, and I think overall, because you got to think about, you put LeBron, Kobe, Michael in the exact same situations, who wins out?
LeBron best small forward ever.
Yeah,
Better than Bird?
undoubtedly.
most definitely.
LeBron,
yeah, I get
LeBron,
that.
Okay.
when it's all said and done, he'll be, arguably top 3.
So
Definitely
somebody,
Derek
hey,
Pippen.
I was with a coworker, man. They made an interesting point. Can Kobe be inside the top 5 if he's not the best at his position ever? Saying if we're gonna go by position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
That's a
point
stupid.
guard.
I think that's a stupid argument.
Yeah, you can.
I mean,
think so?
yeah, I
It's
think
just
that's
the
a
best.
dumb argument. You just said because all you're saying is if you're your best player, you're not saying, oh no, you can't put like who. Look, what if DeMarcus Cousins was the best center ever? Could you not put Kobe in the top
we can't
5?
even put him in the
That's
same
my whole
breath as
point.
anybody.
So
we
it's
just
yeah,
mentioned.
but
You're
Kobe,
not gonna put Tim Duncan in the top 5, but everybody knows he's the best power forward ever.
yeah. But
Oh,
the reason, okay,
no.
the
Oh,
LeBron,
man.
the LeBron thing,
Hey, Duncan's
the
gotta be up
LeBron
there.
thing
Yeah,
because
power forward.
Top 5.
He might,
top 5 dead or
I'm trying to
alive.
think.
I mean, think about this. Think about
Oh,
this.
man, I
Think
don't
about
know.
this with LeBron. Think about
Yeah.
this with LeBron. If you took LeBron James, right?
See, but
And you put, because I'm gonna
Yeah,
go back to
Duncan's gotta
LeBron
be
being
in there,
possibly the
man.
best ever.
Top 5?
I think so.
I gotta address that.
Even-
because
I think so, man.
Duncan came in the league and immediately.
Yeah, Duncan's got to be in there.
Duncan-
He has got to be in the top
Oh,
5.
okay,
yeah.
okay.
he might be
Mike, Magic, LeBron. I'm going to just put LeBron in there. Mike, Magic, LeBron, Kobe.
Kobe's not in the top
No,
5.
Nah,
Kobe's
And
not
Kobe,
top.
I don't
Okay,
think.
okay.
I
Kobe's
personally-
not in.
I
Mike
personally
Magic.
don't think Kobe tops Duncan. To be
Yeah,
honest
yeah,
with you,
yeah.
I really
Kobe
don't.
doesn't top Duncan.
No,
Kobe's Kobe.
As great as Kobe is, man.
If we're being nice, on a good day, and I respect Kobe, on a good day,
Except when he's in
on a good
hotel
day,
rooms.
I'll put him at 9, and I could put
Ooh.
Kobe. I could put Kobe, man, because let's go down the list, man. I mean, there's
Mike,
Mike,
Magic,
Magic,
Kareem, Russell,
LeBron,
Will
Bird, Russell,
dang, I can't.
Oscar.
Here,
Nigga
but
averaged a triple-double for a whole season, bro.
yeah, I mean
Come
you.
on, man.
it depends on.
And he's a
I'll tell
champion.
you this. It depends on the criteria because sometimes I think about Magic and Bird, and Magic and Bird had to be better impact players as far as impacting their overall team. But there's no way Magic and Bird were even close as far as just the skill level that Kobe has. So Kobe is a higher skill level than Magic and Bird, undoubtedly. It's not even. I don't even think it's close. You know what I'm saying? But as far as those dudes' PERs, their player efficiency ratings, you know,
in there.
they had their
Impact on your
impact
team.
on their team and how to make players. Because Kobe, that's the nut, man. Kobe really doesn't make players around him better. You know what I'm saying? Like he really, if statistically, he would make people worse.
Does
You know
it?
what I'm saying?
Would it make?
Which would actually make Shaquille O'Neal better because
But would
Shaquille-
you- would-
J.I.?
no, not
I
even
don't think
close.
so. No,
AI is not better than Kobe.
No, I'm just saying, there's people in that top 10.
He's not in that
I
top
don't
10.
think
He's
so.
not in the top
AI,
10.
AI,
we
AI,
talked about it last week. Somebody did throw AI in top 10.
He's not in the top 10. He's probably the top. He's in the top.
Well,
three
let's see.
in his position,
Um,
out of his size, out of small point
Got
guards,
him, Isaiah.
small point.
All right,
Him,
we're gonna-
Isaiah, and probably
we're gonna-
Curry.
We're
Curry's
gonna
be in
wrap
there.
this, and then
Let's
we're gonna
wrap
do
this
it.
back.
We're gonna
Yeah,
wrap
yeah,
this,
yeah, we'll
and then we're
come
gonna
back
do
to
a
it.
immediate part 2 because I have another topic in the same vein that we can talk about. You can give us a shout out on the barhousecrew.com.
Hey, barhousecrew@gmail.com, and also hit us up on
Previous
SoundCloud.
17 times.
Hey, we'll get back to this, y'all. Let us know what y'all think. Peace.